SHOT Show 2016 at the Benelli booth with Carter. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good to see you. I really appreciate you making a little extra time for us. It's time to bail out, but you're the man in charge, so to speak, right?
Not our. Just the man happens to be here.
He happens to be here, and I happen to grab you. Yeah. You weren't the smart guy from the group, so but I'm sure you're very smart. So what do we have that's new for 2015 or 16?
Got a couple of items here. One has got the Super Black Eagle 25th anniversary limited edition. Two versions of it. One is in Max 5. The other one is Black Cerakote. They have a satin nickel bolt handle, satin nickel bolt body, detachable bolt handle, and extended full release button.
Standard Benelli configuration on the bolt release, etc.
Yeah.
Although it's extended.
It's a larger button.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Wish they had that on an
And this one, I said, is Black Cerakote. It is not anodized in hot fluid. Same configuration for your Max 5 as far as bolt handle, bolt body, bolt release button. The jewel for Benelli this year is the 28 gauge Ethos. We introduced 12 gauge a couple years ago. The 20 gauge was a mid-year release last year. We had this out media day. I don't know if you had the opportunity to shoot it there.
Did not have an opportunity to shoot it, but I did shoot the Ethos when it was first introduced a few years ago, and I got to say that I've handled one in the field several times. There's a gentleman that I know that has somewhere in the neighborhood around 5,000 rounds that he's run through it without cleaning that particular shotgun, and it's still running. And he's doing it on purpose to see how long it'll go.
So you know, as a gunsmith, that makes me cringe.
I can imagine. But he's running the test. He wants to know how far it'll run, and I got to say, for your information, it's still running smooth.
Typically, actually, they'll run fairly dirty. They won't run as dry. So as long as you keep them low, they will basically. There's the one thing that's very unique about this shotgun is, read that for me right there. What does that say?
Stand by just one.
Always got to put his haffies on.
Got to do it. 28 gauge 3-inch, 76 millimeter for 2.75 or 3-inch shells. Read owner's manual before using gun, because I had to read the whole thing for you.
You didn't need to read it.
Yeah. And
the important part of that is 28 gauge 3-inch.
Yeah.
Benelli partnered with Fiocchi. They are introducing this year a 3-inch Magnum 28 gauge.
Beautiful.
And this is the only gun currently chambered in it.
That will shoot that.
That will shoot that.
Very good.
And essentially what that does is it takes a 28 gauge and takes it out to about a heavy field 20 gauge. So opens it up, because right now I would call a 28 gauge kind of borderline for pheasant.
Okay.
So, or late season birds where the feathers a little bit thicker. Magnum 28 gauge allows you to take those birds with the 28 confidence.
Reach out and actually get them.
Yeah. So this completes the Ethos family with the 12, 20, and 28. And also you've got the added bonus of the 3-inch capability. And Fiocchi should have those out probably in the second quarter.
The shells. Yeah.
We've done testing with it, but it's not available. That's the Ethos.
Talk about a field gun. This is light, maneuverable. I mean, it's like a magic wand, brother.
Our 3-gun team shooters had a media day shooting play targets one-handed.
I can imagine. All day long. Well, not all day long, but for quite some time. Wow.
And actually hitting them would impress me very much.
Yeah. Well, they're your designated hitters. So. Beautiful.
But she's a beauty.
And you're continuing with that, the marriage of modern and traditional, and the stock, the receiver. Everything just looks elegant.
It's just like the 12 and the 20 gauge. You have the progressive comfort system in the stock. There's recoil.
Right.
There's a ton of recoil with this cartridge anyway.
Yeah. But you got it.
It takes it down to almost non-existent.
Yeah.
And also, like the other Ethos, you have the carbon fiber rib, which also reduces your weight.
Right. It adds to that elegant look too.
Little package.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Next, we have the M2 3-gun. As you see, we decided to make some changes to it for this season. The new one has an XS Express sight dovetailed into the rib. for slug shooting. Has a high-vis front sight. It has a shell caddy that's embedded into the forend. It's actually cut into as a groove and then screwed in place. That holds a spare shell for doing empty chain loads. So if you run out, grab your shell, bring it back in.
And it's in the perfect spot for that. Beautiful.
Extended bolt release. It's got a Nordic tactical bolt handle. TTI lifter, which extends it out to the front because you're moving the entire mag well forward, and then it cuts on the mag well.
Nice touches. And this bolt release is nice. Nice and large. Well, for the 3-gun shoots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or for anything. This is one thing that I'm actually very surprised that has not cut on in waterfowl hunting. I showed one of our sponsored guides. I said, man, that thing's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Because waterfowl hunters are always looking for an extra shell. There it is.
Yeah, and out of the way.
Yeah.
It's not, cumbersome in any manner.
Grab
And
it.
it's in the perfect spot. Yeah.
You don't have to go fumbling around the pocket or the it's there.
Yeah. And you get your forearm here in the right spot, so you're not moving it down and away. It's like almost like a tactical piece, if you want to call it.
That's exactly, that's
Really kind of what it is.
It's kind of like when NASCAR originally started out. They tested research development, race on Sunday, sell on Monday.
Same thing. Yeah.
Prove a concept on the competition field, transfer it over to the hunting. Next, we've got the instant catalyst, which this shotgun, from here forward, is essentially the same as a standard Franke Instinct L, 28-inch barrels. From here back, it's completely different. It's been designed specifically for women. It's got a shorter grip length, which is probably one of the most striking features compared to most people's ladies' guns. Most folks, they make a youth or lady gun, they chop an inch off the stock.
Right.
And call it good.
Kind of like a youth gun.
And this dimension is important both for youth and for ladies. And but to be quite honest, if you've got a guy that's 5'5" or shorter, this will probably fit in very well too.
Right.
Particularly if he's got small hands.
Yeah.
But you can see, if you look, let's say from this point, the distance. If you line the triggers up, actually line the grips up, yeah, to see the difference.
Considerable.
Yeah, about an inch. Which allows someone with small hands to actually comfortably grip it and get the pad of the trigger finger on the trigger.
And also, conceptually, if you wanted to introduce a 12 gauge youth gun, this
You
would
got
be
the same thing.
Same thing.
And the one thing with a lot of people don't realize, they tend to go very light on youth. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen people trying to teach a kid with a single shot 410. 410 doesn't have enough shot for a kid. They need at least a 20 gauge. And if they're strong enough to hold up a 12 gauge, you can get very lightweight 12 gauge loads that basically will have no recoil at all. So it works for that as well. The length of pull is 13 7/8. Standard is 14 3/8. The pitch was also increased, which is the angle from the stock to the pull line. Women or guys that have large chest, you want to increase your pitch, which takes the toe of the stock out, which allows the shoulder to go and not have it dig into the chest.
Digging in the chest area. And I noticed that about the buttstock area, or I thought I was noticing something about a difference in the angle.
Yeah, the angle is different. If you were to take you see the difference between those two right there.
Yeah. And of course, the angle is evident in the angle of the barrel at this point.
Yeah.
It's like very high pure. It's a little sexier.
Also raise the comb and give it a little bit more cast. So basically from here back, it's totally designed for your typical female shooter instead of your typical male shooter.
Or small stature person.
Or small stature. Like I said, if you've got somebody that's a guy that's 5'5" or shorter, this will probably fit him pretty well.
Yeah.
Next, we've got some Crocky sub gauges. The Instinct L line. Again, we have both 28 and 410. And they're on a sub-gauge frame, so they're lighter and everything's proportionally sized. Fantastic gun for skeet or upland hunting.
And as you mentioned, the weight on this is just, do you know what the weight is on this? If you don't, that's
Top
okay.
of my head, no, but I believe it's about 5.5 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, I can say that it's noticeably a nice lightweight shotgun.
And well balanced.
Very well balanced.
I said this was a 28 gauge. 410. It's the same model, different caliber. Stoker P3000. It's a new shotgun for this year from Stoker. It's a 3-inch pump action. Based off of the M3000, which is a popular semi-automatic line. Rugged, reliable, at a very economical price. MSRP is $299.
300 bills for a field gun that just go all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid, simple, no frills, working man shotgun. Next, we have the Uberti Big Game, which is essentially taking a 45-70 high wall and make it into something you can actually carry and hunt with. So we did away with the 28-inch full octagon barrel that weighs about as much as a truck axle and went with a shorter 22-inch barrel that's got a fairly round taper, fairly lightweight, well balanced. Rugged, reliable, simple. The comb is raised up at the stock to make it easier for optics. Excellent shotgun. Excellent rifle.
Yeah. Big boy.
For deer, bear, whatever you want to go after.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And it won't kill you to carry it all day long.
And this comes with sling swivel mounts.
Comes with sling swivel mounts. And it comes with the base. It does not come with rings or scope.
Okay, right. And it does also come with the iron sights. So
it comes with iron sights and a Picatinny reel. And those are actually, that 1885s are actually astoundingly accurate. I remember when we set some up for an Africa hunt a couple of years ago. My department takes care of all the guns that go out for riders and for evaluations and shows. I took them to the range to zero them. And I had 2 cloverleaf groups at 100 yards with 2 45-70s.
really,
Yeah,
wow.
just phenomenally accurate. And the final new product is a Uberti.
Is this 357 Magnum?
Nope, 45 long Colt.
45 long Colt.
Yes.
nice traditional piece for cowboy shooters, or just somebody who wants something that's historically accurate.
It's 150th anniversary, 1866 Yellow Boy. It's historically accurate. This is taken from an actual period. The engraving is taken from an actual period piece that is in the collection of the Birdie factory. And it's a transition piece. If you look at the back end, the lines are similar to a Henry. So this is actually in a transition between the Henry and the Yellow Boy. So it's more of a Henry style receiver, but with a loading gate.
Okay.
All right, have fun tonight. I'll see you later.
Beautiful piece.
You need anything for tomorrow? You want me to do...
And is this only available in 45 long pole?
Only 45 on pole.
Is it available now, or are they waiting for release?
We have not gotten stock in yet, probably first quarter.
Do you know what the MSRP on this is?
MSRP is $1,779.
Very good. Carter, thank you very much for taking the time to show us the new product line. I really appreciate it, brother.
Always glad to spend time and help out.
You get some good rest tonight.
We'll try.
And enjoy the rest of your show.
Time to soak your feet.
Yeah, exactly. Soak the feet. Tip it cold one, maybe. Yeah.
Take care, guys.